Start the recording. So there it is. We're now recording. As I mentioned, if you don't want to be in the recording, then please keep your camera turned off. So again, a very warm welcome to everybody to this webinar hosted by ICETT. We're going to have some time to present the chair of ICETT, the current and most recent chair before that. We'll have a moment to present ICETT and the work that we've been doing. So I'm going to leave that to them in just a moment. And in the meantime, I'll just, again, thank you all for being here. For those of you who are just joining, my name is Alana Gotts. I'm with ICETT. And I'm really happy to be here moderating this webinar together with our colleagues from the International Cooperative Alliance and from ICETT. ICETT has been collaborating with ICETT for some years now, specifically around the World Cooperative Monitor, which many of you know, but you may not know that in recent years, the thematic sections that we've published in the World Cooperative Monitor report have been discussed and elaborated with the collaboration with the ICETT think tank. And so I really want to thank all of the members of ICETT and let you all know how wonderful a collaboration that has been. And it's enabled us to work on topics that are really of keen interest to cooperatives on the ground. And most recently, in the 2023 World Cooperative Monitor, we started looking at the cooperative identity, the cooperative advantage, trying to think about, what is it about cooperatives that's different? How do they present their identity? And from there, we moved into a broader discussion with the ICETT around member benefits. And Hans Grunfeld is going to have a moment later to really explain what we did there. But just to say that the work that we're talking about here today comes out of that work within the ICETT and the attempt through the World Cooperative Monitor and ICETT to really look at what are cooperatives, what difference are they making, what are they providing to their members and communities, what does that mean for the communities and society at large? And so these are all topics that we're going to be touching on today. And I'm really happy to have all of our distinguished guests here who are going to be presenting the work that we did and also specific cases. And I just also want to highlight the importance of that. And, this chance to have these webinars where cooperatives are sharing their cases with other cooperatives and with the public at large is a really wonderful opportunity for all of us to learn from each other. So thank you to all of our speakers today. Thank you for the ICA and ICETT for hosting this webinar. Just in case you've only joined us now, I will mention again, there is Spanish interpretation. If anybody needs it, please make sure you click on the interpretation on your screen. And please keep your microphones off as our speakers are speaking. So I'm going to move into the agenda here with our first guest. I'd like to invite Jeroen Douglas, the Director General of the ICA, to say a few words of welcome. Jeroen, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Ilana. And for this good introduction. It's great to see that we are really indeed with a cluster of people close to 200. So that's quite exciting. And I will just try to be short, also giving some additional words of welcome. And indeed, by the way, greetings from Canada. And I hope you are also in a good mood. The ICETT, the International Cooperative Entrepreneurship Think Tank, is an initiative that was started in 2018. And it's indeed, its main mission is to provide a space for strategic dialogue, for learning and innovation. And we do that with the larger cooperatives of the ICA ecosystem. So today we are going to launch and focus in particular on a very interesting report, the Cooperative Benefits Report, where opportunities and benefits of collective ownership have been discussed. So, as already said by you, Ilana, the ICETT has contributed to a series of initiatives, the World Cooperative Monitor being one of them. Recently, we're working very hard also to think through and promote platforms such as the Principle 6.coop. We're looking into the development of a global marquee, exploring climate smart business models. So ICETT is indeed a very interesting segment of the ICA. Today, the report on cooperative benefits is a milestone publication, I would say, because it gives clear insights on 4 areas: the direct impact of benefits, the indirect impact of benefits, the community level impact, and the policy level impact of the benefits of cooperatives. And you will hear speakers who have been contributing to the report. I want to thank Hans Groeneveld, the former chair of ICETT, because you have been very pivotal in the organization of this report, Hans. We're very thankful to you. And also, by the way, for all the years that you have been chairing ICETT. So what is very interesting in this report is that members of ICETT figure as protagonists in the data collection. So I would also like to thank those who have been contributing to this report. Rabobank from the Netherlands, the National Cooperative Grocers from the United States, CIC Insurance Group from Kenya, Mid-Counties Cooperative from the United Kingdom, the Indian Farmer Fertilizers Cooperative Limited, the National Agriculture Cooperative Federation from Korea, Kibbutz Movement, CCA Global from the US, Smart from Belgium, Mondragon. So many thanks for everything you have been contributing to this report. And I believe that this report offers tangible tools for cooperatives to better communicate their impact and leverage their identity for both visibility and competitive advantage. Today's webinar is indeed an opportunity to share global insights from this report and hear from ICETT members about how they are applying these principles in practice. So this work, which is so nicely put together by your institute, Ilana, in Eurixe, will also feed into ICA's broader efforts that will lead this year in the closing event of the International Year of Cooperatives during the World Social Summit in Doha. And also it will be an interesting, innovative tool for this CM50 that we are building, a cooperative mutuals leadership. So a special edition of the World Cooperative Monitor linked also to this World Social Summit and linked to this CM50 cluster will also be launched, and ICETT is working hard to make that look nicely. So efforts reaffirm that cooperatives are not just the economic actors, but also critical partners in achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. The World Social Summit in Doha, you need to realize, is like preparing the world for the last 5 years of sprint of the SDG era. So I want to conclude by saying that I hope that you will have great discussions today, amplify the cooperative difference, and to use the findings of the ICETT report to deepen the impact and visibility. Thank you for being here. Let's continue to strengthen ICETT and have a shared solution for our movement. So thank you very much, and back to you, Ilana.
Thank you. Thank you so much for those words of welcome. Very important reflections to keep in mind as we move through the session and of course beyond. So I would like to now very warmly welcome Hans Groeneveld. As mentioned, Hans was the chair of ICETT until just recently and was very pivotal in bringing forward this work on member benefits. So we'll give him the floor now to speak a little bit about what this work entailed more specifically.
Thank you very much, Ilana, Jeroen, and also Thomas, for giving me this opportunity to speak about this report. ICETT is very close to my heart. I'll not speak about all the details because I don't want to give away the content of the presenters afterwards in the case studies, but I would like to say a few words about why we selected this topic in an overall context, and to look at this report from a somewhat more higher abstraction level to see what we can learn from this and perhaps also takeaways for the future. But first of all, the report. ICETT is there not only for the ICETT members, obviously, but also for the entire cooperative movement. So a few years ago, we've been thinking thinking about the topic that could really be of interest to every cooperative, all members, all of you. And then it also pertains to all of you, and not just ICETT. And we came up with actually the essence of all cooperatives as a topic, namely the added value of cooperatives for members and members' communities and for society at large. Because, as we all know, all your cooperatives were once established or are in the phase of being established because you want to do something good to add value to your members. If you don't have any member benefits anymore, you don't add value to society or to members' communities, well, then you have a completely different story. That's a very difficult story as well. So we thought, well, let's focus on all kinds of benefits, specific corporate benefits that cannot be provided by firms with other organizational forms. And thereby, these benefits must be distinguishing factors for cooperatives, giving them a different market positioning as well, but also different place in society in many different areas. So we decided to start on this, to embark on this. We had very interesting information and knowledge sharing sessions within ICETT, where each member presented his or her cooperative, and was also the idea to have a kind of a template, because I don't want to hear, and you don't want to hear all kinds of stories, anecdotal stories, anecdotal evidence, but really to come up with edible output, so to speak, and also with output that would enable us to extract the kind of common threads from all these stories, to provide you with inspiration, but also examples, but to put it into an entire context. So that's why we ended up with this template or this model that you also apply to your cooperative when addressing or when looking at your benefits that you're providing to your members and society at large. Direct member benefits, indirect member benefits, benefits to members' communities, and members to society at large, which of course refer in particular to the 7th cooperative principle of concern for society. We also had some rules of the game, actually, when these presentations took place, because the highlighted benefits by all the ICETT members had to be material. It shouldn't be about just anecdotal evidence or just one example of one particular benefit, but it had to apply to many members at the same time or to society at large, and it had to be material, substantial, and not anecdotal. And the crucial point is, of course, you can talk about your benefits and the benefits that you provide to society, but the proof in the pudding is, of course, is society, are members really experiencing the benefits that you are providing? And that determines the cooperative difference, obviously. So it had to be in a template. It should be substantial, the benefits that you would present to the other ICETT members, and it shouldn't be about self-congratulation. Actually, it should be really the members that perceive your benefits and society that is perceiving your benefits. And that makes, as I said, the corporate difference. So this is the basic framework, and it resulted in a very nice report, which I hope is very inspiring to all of you. And the results, I think, are widely applicable, though I have to say, of course, that, well, every cooperative can do this exercise. But we fully acknowledge that there are differences between all kinds of cooperatives. I mean, the benefits of a workers' cooperative, and we'll hear a story later on of Mondragon, is completely different, obviously, and perhaps easier to bring to the fore than the benefits provided by consumer cooperatives. And producer cooperatives are a different story in itself. And we'll hear from some of them this afternoon what kind of benefits they are providing. But the benefits that you can provide, that really makes a difference, will depend, of course, also on the type of your cooperative. Besides, it also depends on the country in which you are located. the economic sector as well. Is it a heavily regulated sector, yes or no? It also depends on the development phase of your cooperative, of your country, or the sector in which you are establishing your cooperatives. There are flourishing new ones or sprouting new cooperatives around the globe, which of course provide different and new benefits to society and members. Platform cooperatives, energy cooperatives, you name it. So they all can be put under the same umbrella in terms of how they provide benefits, offer benefits to members in a different way, but also to society, by perhaps adjusting the competitive environment. It's very difficult, of course, to catch into a kind of indicator, but it's also a very important element, of course, of being a cooperative, because you have a different business model, a bit different orientation, and thereby you influence the market. These kind of aspects were actually not included in the report because they're very difficult to to investigate. And that's why I'm also appealing to academics that are now listening as well. If you can really contribute to this topic in terms of the cooperative difference, but in terms of the contribution of cooperatives to economic sectors, to the competitive environment, to healthy competition, and to diversity, I would highly welcome this, because this is actually what I say, not included in the report as yet, but it's a very important factor in terms of cooperative benefits that cooperatives could provide to economic sectors and competition and the competitive environment and the market structure. Okay, as I said, well, it's very important when I now look at results a bit from a high exception level. Benefits, of course, are really very important. Perhaps the most important pillar of the so-called cooperative identity, which encompasses many, many different aspects. But if you don't provide a lot of benefits, or they are very pale, then the cooperative entity is also very pale. By contrast, if your palette, your range of benefits to members of society is very broad, that will all contribute, obviously, to a very strong cooperative identity and a very colorful cooperative identity. So I really would like to make explicitly the link between these benefits and the cooperative identity, which is not just based on the cooperative principles or adhering to the cooperative principles, but it's about what are you providing to society, what is perceived and noticed by members and policymakers as well from your cooperative. Cooperative identity is very important. One should also acknowledge that the opportunity for cooperatives to provide these benefits are heavily dependent on the institutional environment. All kinds of legislations, they differ widely across countries, across sectors, so that also defines which benefits you can really provide to your members, yes or no. Let alone the government policy, which could also be conducive or hinder, well, the existence of cooperative benefits. You also have to take this into account as well. And it's mentioned in the report, but I really like to highlight this here as well. So first the cooperative identity, but also this institutional environment, which is really a very important factor in terms of what can you really provide as a cooperative, in whatever sector, to your members and to society at large. Research, I already mentioned this as well. The third very important addition, I would say, to the report is that I really would like to encourage researchers to focus on these areas, and particularly on what kind of benefits are cooperatives providing to members, to society, but also to market structures. This is a kind of a white spot. It's a black box, and it would be very helpful for all of us, all cooperatives, to fill this gap with deep knowledge and deep academic research. Final point I would like to make regarding this report, in addition to what's already said in this report, you have to, as a cooperative, I would say, reassess your benefits from time to time. It could be that the initial benefits that you provided to your members when you were established, well, they may have disappeared or may have become irrelevant or less relevant or are no longer distinctive. If that's the case, I would really suggest that you take stock of your benefits to see whether you can strengthen these benefits and thereby distinguish yourself from firms, businesses, with other organizational structures, ownership structures. The first thing I would like to say, reassessment of your benefits all the time in order to stay different than others. The second point is that we should also realize, and I mentioned it before, Principle 7, concern for society, that cooperatives don't have the monopoly on concern for society. Other firms are also stepping into this. They try to mimic cooperatives as well. So also pay attention to this facet, I would say. Well, to conclude, benefits are crucial for a strong corporate identity. And a strong corporate identity will result in a distinctive appreciation, perception, behavior, reputation of every cooperative in society. And this will in turn automatically lead to members, customers, and society experiencing the cooperative difference. I'm looking forward to presentations and discussion. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hans, really. And as I'm here listening, I'm thinking, it's really nice that we're recording this because you've given us so much food for thought, so many different applications and areas to think about that come from this, not only this report, but the type of work that we're doing in general. And so thank you so much for that. I can't help but reiterate the importance of the connection between research and practice. And that's been a really fruitful collaboration that we've had over the years. And of course, you have both of those within your own person as well. So I know you agree with the importance. So thank you so much for that. We're going to hear from the cases and really hear how your words get put into concrete practice. But first, I would like to invite Thomas Blondeel to say a few words. He is the current chair of ICETT and also represents SMART. And so, Thomas, please, the floor is yours to give a few words of welcome, but also, SMART isn't one of the cases being presented, but I know that SMART was involved, so we'd also love to hear in what way. So over to you. Thanks.
Thank you, Ilana, and thank you, Jeroen and Hans, for your introduction. I'll make it very short. So welcome on my behalf and on behalf of all the members of SMART. As we started out with Jeroen, we were close to 200 people. I think we're largely over 200 people right now. Just to point this out, as Hans mentioned, the exercise, let's say, to establishing this report was a very interesting exercise, not only in the establishment itself, but also for us as a cooperative. As you know, as you may know, SMART is a cooperative in Belgium for freelancers with roots in the artistic sector. And for us, this overthinking of these benefits and writing them down specifically helped us as a co-op to make these benefits explicit to not only towards our members and maybe future members, but also towards other stakeholders like public authorities, political actors, and so on. And so it allowed us really to pinpoint where we contribute as a cooperative to societal challenges and to advocate more specifically for adapted regulations or solutions, like we try to put them in the market for innovative ways of organizing work, for instance. I think without any further ado, we can go ahead to the next speakers. If I'm not mistaken, Ilana, you will introduce the speakers?
Yes. Thank you, Thomas. Thanks so much. Thank you to you for your commitment to ICETT and also to SMART for contributing to this important work. So yes, now it is time to hear from the cases. These are members of ICETT who also contributed to the report. I would just like to mention Mid-Counties Cooperatives from the UK was unable to be here today, unfortunately, but they also, you can find their case in the report, and they send their regrets and apologies for not being able to join the webinar today. But not to take away from the great presenters that we have coming up. So you'll hear from a lot of different types of cooperatives, and starting with Rabobank. In the Netherlands, we have Rudy Kleeweg here. He's the Director of Corporate Secretary and Cooperative Governance. So Rudy, please take the floor and let us know about Rabobank and what you do for member benefits.
Thank you very much, Ilana. Can you understand me well?
Yes.
Yes, okay, that's wonderful. That's good to hear. Yes, I'm Rudy Kleiwert. I'm, amongst other things, responsible for the governance of our cooperative. Rabobank, as I think many of you know, is a large bank in the Netherlands. To give you a bit of the background of what our cooperative organization is, a large bank in the Netherlands with a balance sheet of over 600 billion euros, more than 40,000 employees, and we are located in 37 countries. So a large cooperative organization, which is also regulated by the European Central Bank. I think Hans mentioned that the institutional context is relevant for cooperative organizations, and the fact that we are regulated by the European Central Bank as other large European banks is a very important factor in what we can and can't do towards our members. So I think it was good to mention that. If I reflect on the key question of this paper, what is the most important benefits of Rabobank being a cooperative? There are a couple of things for our members. I think a couple of things which I would like to mention. The first thing I would like to mention as head of the governance of the cooperative is the fact that members have an influence on the governance of Rabobank. And I think that is extremely important, that members have an influence on the direction of basically a system bank in the Netherlands. There are more than 3,000 members actually represented in member councils, more than 300 what we call local supervisory board members involved. And the highest authority within our cooperative organization, like in most cooperative, is the General Assembly of Members, the General Members Council, which consists of 78 of our member representatives. So the direct influence on the course of the bank is, I think, a very important one. The General Members Council has the authority to approve the strategic headlines of the organization, the strategic direction of the organization, and many or most important decisions taken for the cooperative have to be approved by the General Members Council. So that is one. A second part, which I feel is very important for Rabobank as a cooperative organization, is in our mission and what we want to achieve for society. Our mission is growing a better world together, which already encaptures the fact that we want to be a positive force in society. But that is very much part of what Rabobank as a cooperative wants to be. We used to have this mechanism that part of our profit is actually distributed by member councils in their local communities, and that used to be up until last year an amount of 30 to 50 million euros. But the General Members Council has, at the beginning of this year, approved to increase this amount, which can be used in the local communities, to 40 to 75 million euros. So that's a direct way members can actually influence spending part of our profits in the local communities. On top of that, the General Members Council has approved a strategic framework for what we call cooperative initiatives. And that's for an amount of something in the order of 350 million euros. And this is going to be decided on by the board of our cooperative, where this money is going to be spent, but it is very much focused on the impact we as Rabobank would like to have on society. And basically the thinking is that as Rabobank, we want to contribute to certain specific important transformations from a societal perspective. One of them, as a bank which is rooted in food and agri, one of them is the food system transformation, which needs to take place to be able to feed the world in a sustainable manner in the coming years. Another example is the energy transition, which needs to take place, certainly in our country, to move towards sustainable energy sources. So a couple of transitions which, as Rabobank, we want to support, where we made available a large amount of money, 350 million euros, to basically help society transform into the direction society needs to take. It's good to mention that as this was approved in April, that we are now forming an advisory council of member representatives, basically to advise the board of the cooperative on where to spend that money and how to contribute to this transformations. So making money concretely available, part of our profit available to society and the societal transformations. Another example which we are working on is what is called the Rabo for Society platform. And that is basically making available the efforts, so not so much the money, but the efforts of members and employees of the bank in contributing to, well, local communities and the transitions which have to take place. So the cooperative initiatives is about money. The Rabo for Society platform is about effort, about labor, about helping communities to do things which are good. So that's, I think, another important topic. In some cases, members are not the member representatives. Members can actually vote how to distribute money. What a very important topic is Rabo Club Support, where we support the clubs, the sport clubs, the theater clubs, all sorts of clubs which we have in the Netherlands, which we support with money. And the members, so not only the member representatives, the 3,000, but all members can actually vote how to spend that money, which is dedicated to Rabo Club Support, which is done via the Rabo app on their telephone. So they can vote how to allocate the money. I think that's a very nice feature. So I think those are the two main topics. I think it's fair to mention that we are also at this stage reassessing, very much in line with what Hans Groeneveld was saying, reassessing the benefits of membership at this stage. So there's a program going on within Rabobank under the heading of reassessment of the membership, thinking through basically also on this thinking through what we need to do and not need to do for our members. And one of the topics which is hotly debated is, do we want to have specific banking benefits for our members? Because we've got 2.3 million members, but we've got almost 10 million clients. And one of the big debates within the bank is, do we want to have specific banking benefits only for members and not for the other clients? And there are people very much in favor of that, and there are people who are not in favor of that. We used to have in the past a product which was specifically only sold to members, but we haven't got that anymore. So I think it's fair to mention that this call from Hans to basically reassess the membership, we listen to that, we are reassessing it, and there are some hotly debated topics with regard to that. But at the current stage, I think the influence of members on our strategic direction and the influence which we have on society, both with money, cooperative initiatives and cooperative dividend, and effort, Rabo for Society Hub, are the most important ones to mention. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Rudy. Thank you. And really thank you for not only presenting your concrete actions, but your questions and your challenges for the future, which opens it up to a debate amongst all of us. And so thank you for sharing that. And I'll just use that opportunity to remind you all, if you have questions, please write them in the chat, and we'll have a little bit of time at the end to address them. So thank you so much, Rudy. I would now like to invite Michael Mugo, Principal Officer from CIC Microinsurance, the CIC Insurance Group in Kenya, to present your case. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ilan. I suppose you can see my screen.
Yes, we can now. Yes.
Okay, very.
Try advancing the slides. You don't have it in presentation view, but I think it's okay. Yes. There
okay
you go.
now.
Yep.
Thank you very much. Very good afternoon from Kenya. Good morning to all and good evening. I will go straight to my presentation. I am presenting from CIC Group, East Africa, Kenya, East Africa, and from Africa. And I will not focus so much on the content, but I'll go straight into just discussing the history of our company, just for us to be able to contextualize and get into perspective who we are, having started in 1968 and as a very small agency, insurance agency within the Kenya National Federation of Cooperatives. And this is a body that was overseeing cooperatives then in Kenya. And we have grown in 2000 to 2012. We had very accelerated growth. We had a change of name. We demerged to form different subsidiaries to address the different needs of our members and customers. 2013 to 2024, we had very rapid expansion and a very rapid diversification. And we were able to spread our wings to other countries in Africa, in South Sudan, Uganda, Malawi. We also registered CSE Foundation to take care of the CSR issues. And from then, we also have registered a microinsurance company just to be able to take care of the underserved communities. We also have registered a CSE pharmacy, a pharmacy just to drive our health business and to be able to serve the cooperative movement. 2025 and beyond, we are looking at innovating more, scaling up, looking at areas of digital transformation, embedding insurance, having a very elaborate ecosystem approach to business, and also creating a social impact and becoming a Pan-African financial company. Looking at the footprint, as I said, we are in Kenya, we are in Malawi, we are in Uganda, South Sudan, we have different branches, and we also control about 21% of the unit trust market share. This supports the cooperatives, and the cooperative institutions, and also our customers in terms of investing their savings. We also control about 8.8% of the general business, that is property insurance, and 4.8% of the life insurance market. And in terms of ownership, 74.3% is owned by institutional cooperatives, about 1,550 institutions, that is cooperative institutions. And these institutions have a membership of over 6 million. It's only about 25.7% that is owned by individuals, and these are also individual cooperative members. And this is also listed at the Nairobi Stock Exchange. In terms of the corporate philosophies, our mission is to enable people achieve the financial freedom, and our vision is to be a world-class provider of insurance and financial services with values of integrity, dynamism, and cooperation. A bit of quick facts about CIC Group. Last year, we registered about 203 million in USD in terms of revenue, and we registered a profit before tax of 30 million USD. And out of the 203 million USD that we brought in last year, about 120 million was paid in total claims. And currently, we have about 893 employees and a total asset base of about 478 million USD. Our customer, our CSI score is at 86%, just an indication of the kind of focus that we give to customer experience, and this is serving the cooperative members. We also support over 7,000 agents and brokers who support us as our partners in business. And currently, we also have about 1.2 million US dollars in asset management. We also have a lot of alignment to global partners, and we are looking at inclusivity through ICMIF, and we are getting a lot of support from ICMIF, where we are members, and UNDP. We are looking at areas of ethical practices, And that's why we have partnered with Nairobi Declaration on Sustainable Insurance, just to make sure that we do the right business. And looking at sustainability, working with ICA, working with United Nations Global Compact, working with Women's Empowerment, World Women Empowerment Program for equality of business. We also are very strong in strengthening cooperatives, supporting cooperatives in capacity building, particularly in the area of training, looking at the areas of governance, risk management, financial literacy, sustainability, which we are doing for free. Last year, we extended this to about 5,000 cooperative leaders whom we trained, and about 50,000 members were impacted. In the area of governance and economic empowerment, since we are owned by 74% of the ownership cooperatives, we usually distribute the earnings through dividends. Last year alone, we paid about 1.9 million USD in dividends. And we also have the CSE Board of Directors elected through a non-members inclusive delegate systems, who then lead the organization. On social impact, we are offering scholarships to various beneficiaries in the cooperative movement. We have so far sponsored about 175 students through the foundation. We have also been sponsoring as most of these initiatives through the cooperatives and members. We also have been supporting the launch of new cooperatives across all sectors, particularly the church-based circles. We also provide customized products and services which are affordable, they are discounted, and they're very flexible to cooperative members and cooperative institutions in the areas of health, credit, life, business, and also extending these to farmers. We also have a lot of focus on environmental, social, and governance principles. And we are advancing the ESG strategy, and we have committed that by 2030, we want to increase our microinsurance business policies to about 25% of the group. We want to reduce waste diverted to landfill by 25%. We want to reduce scope 1 and 2 of greenhouse emissions by 30%. And also, we want to improve the customer satisfaction index, particularly for the cooperative movement, to 90%. We also are striving to achieve gender balance across our workforce, and we are doing very well in that area. In terms of brand validation, last year we were declared the fastest growing brand in Kenya with a 63 surge in brand value. And number 2, we have been declared champions of governance, and we have received those awards in Kenya, and from the Association of Kenya Insurance in Kenya. We have won a lot of accolades through the Think Business Awards. In South Sudan, we have also won accolades, in the same case with Uganda. Focusing on the future outlook, CIC Insurance Group is poised to become a leading force in advancing financial inclusion and resilience, particularly in the cooperative movement and beyond, and positioning ourselves in Kenya and within the region with a 3-year vision of having a very robust digital transformation, a youth empowerment program with a 5-year vision of having integrated InsurTech ecosystem, the idea of value creation, increasing partnerships and collaborations within the country and outside the country. And in 10 years, we are looking at a long-term community resilience initiative that will be able now to scale a business and drive the business into prosperity. So allow me just to stop there. And thank you very much for that engagement.
Thank you so much, Michael. Wonderful. And important to remember that sometimes our members are individual people, sometimes they're cooperatives, and that can change quite a lot what we're doing. So thank you so much. We're going to move very quickly into the next speaker. We have Michelle Schride with us. She's from National Co-op Grocers in the USA, and she's the Director of Strategic Development. Over to you, Michelle.
Good morning, all. Welcome from the US, and thank you for attending this morning, regardless of the time of day. National Co-op Grocers is a business services co-op that was founded by our retail cooperative members in 1999. They own and control us. Today, our membership includes 166 independent food co-ops with 239 locations around the United States. NCG's job is to provide strategic business support to help these local cooperatives optimize resources and increase their competitive presence in their food industry and their local markets. The only reason we exist is for our members' success. That's why we were created today. That remains our primary goal. One of the ways that we do this is by centralizing the purchasing and promotion of national food brands. Our members can take advantage of the economies of scale of a virtual chain while they're remaining locally member-owned and controlled. Our member-owner cooperatives can then focus their efforts on things that matter closer to home. And I want to spend more of my time talking about that because I think it really demonstrates the advantage that people have through their membership in National Co-op Grocers, in the impact that it enables them to make in their local communities by sharing some of the load of what it takes to compete in today's food market. And I want to start out by telling an excellent example that is close to home for me. The local food co-op that I share my shopping with, the Willie Street Grocery Cooperative here in Madison, Wisconsin, or Willie Street as we affectionately refer to it, boasts 3 thriving stores here in the local region. Several years ago, they launched a dedicated program that they call Retail Ready Lab. Retail Ready Lab is a local incubator program that helps vendors bring their products to market. Well, these small business owners and producers are experts in their products. It really takes a different set of skills and understanding to make a product ready to go to retail. So Willie Street started out by guiding these small business owners through the process of becoming retail ready manufacturers. They have one-on-one meetings where they educate on anything from appropriate packaging, labeling requirements, how to appropriately invoice a retailer, and pricing for the market. Once fully licensed and inspected, the co-op then supports those new products by just creating displays in the stores and even setting up live vendor sampling events. The co-op gathers feedback from their consumers to help vendors tailor their products to meet consumer needs. And while those live demonstrations are going on, vendors can get direct food feedback from the people that are buying their products. Now, one of my favorite examples of this at work is by a, excuse me, I'm trying to get my slide to advance, my apologies for that, is a story about Josie Chu, who is the purveyor of a small line of cooking sauces that were developed to fill a void of Southeast Asian flavors in our local market here in Madison. By leveraging generations old techniques and authentic flavors, she's produced a line of sauces including sambal nanya, ginger garlic sauce, satay peanut nanya, and they've been a huge hit with shoppers, and Josie and her brand, Madame Chu, have become beloved. They're now offered in retail stores throughout our region. Our NCG members care about their local communities and farmers. They care about the intersections of equity, inclusion, food justice, and sustainability. NCG helps them realize their goals through our advocacy work on their behalf and by telling their stories of connections that they've forged between their consumer members, their producers, and their community-centered efforts to create local resilience and mutual support. And I appreciate the opportunity to share just one of their stories with you today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Michelle. That's really, really nice to hear the specific stories of individual co-op members. And so thank you so much for sharing that. We're going to move next to Santosh Shukla, General Manager of IFCO in India. Hello, Santosh.
Hello. My internet seems a little bit disturbed. No issues.
We can hear you. Yep.
Yeah, I am just sharing my presentation. I hope it is visible to all. Namaskar. First of all, namaskar from India to all of you, and cooperative greetings in International Year of Cooperative. Let me start my presentation. IFCO is basically a fertilizer cooperative, wholly owned by the cooperative, established in 1967 with only 57 member cooperatives. But now we are having more than 35,600 member cooperatives as our members, and indirectly we are connected with more than 50 million farmers. We are wholly owned by cooperatives. We are number one in world by World Cooperative Monitor based on ratio of turnover per capita income. IFCO's commitment for the social development is we are providing 20% dividend to our member cooperatives since last 24 years. So our member cooperatives get most of the revenue from IFCO, and we give priority to them to provide quality fertilizer to farmers. We are also working for entrepreneurship of rural youth and women entrepreneurship to provide them drone. We have distributed more than 1,700 drones all over India, and we have selected 300 women, given them the pilot training and provided the drone with e-vehicle to serve in the rural area, and now they are generating their revenue using the drone in the fields in the village area. Additionally, youths are also using our drone as a entrepreneurship tool for sustainable agriculture. IFCO has developed a new product that is environment friendly product. This is nanotechnology based product. And we provide incentive to the member cooperatives, more incentive to popularize this new product amongst the farmers. And presently, we are exporting this nano fertilizer to more than 40 countries all over the world. Regarding community development initiatives, IFCO has adopted more than 200 villages all across the India just for the development of socio-economic development. IFCO has formed a trust that is called IFCO Kisan Seva Trust. This trust is for supporting during natural calamity, as well as we provide a scholarship to our members, children of our members, cooperatives members, and we provide medical support to the rural farmers, basically the needy farmers of rural background. Apart from that, IFCO has promoted one more cooperative, that is Indian Farm and Forestry Development Cooperative Limited, that is called IFFDC, just to convert the wasteland into the forest land, and we link the generation of revenue of our members or the rural tribal areas people. They get revenue from this forest areas. Apart from that, IFCO has formed another trust, that is Cooperative Rural Development Trust. This trust is to provide hands-on training to the farmers, our members, or farmers connected with our member cooperatives related to farming techniques, innovative technology, animal husbandry, soil testing lab is there. So we just encourage our members to bring their soil for soil testing, just to know the nutrition requirement of their soil, so they can use the same fertilizer depending upon the requirement of the nutrition. Government of India has formed a new ministry in year 2021, just to strengthen the cooperative model of India. After that, this ministry is taking initiatives. So far, around 60 initiatives have been created, have been started by Government of India, just to make cooperative more strength, to provide more strength, and to primary level agriculture cooperative to implement these kind of schemes and take benefit. So finally, the farmers and other connected people will get benefit out of it. So IFCO is just along with the Ministry of Cooperation, just popularizing their schemes to reach it to the ground level. So we are publishing a magazine that is called Sahakar Uday, and we are publishing it in 12 regional languages of India, so that the initiative of government can be popularized and can reach to the ground level, to the basic rural areas, using this magazine. And digitally also we are circulating all across IFCO, all across India, just to make take benefit of these schemes of the government to strengthen the cooperative. We are conducting field level programs, extension services, crop demonstrations, soil testing camps in rural areas, just to increase the awareness of the farmers. Similarly, Patsala, that is the sessions, we take weekly sessions of our members to educate them about our services, our products, how to get more benefit from our initiatives. During the International Year of Cooperative 2025, IFCO has also made some of the targets, fixed targets for ourselves to achieve it, and to take the advantage of cooperative to our members, to our rural areas. We are targeting to increase our membership to 40,000. And the next one is the carbon neutrality initiative. We are planting around 1 million trees during the International Year of Cooperative all across the country, just to compensate the carbon emission by our employees, by our plant manufacturing units, to planting the equivalent number of trees. We are conducting this monthly webinars for our members. We have IFCO has, along with the Forest Research Institute, has developed a new variety of neem, just to increase the income of the farmers, income of our members. So, and this is all from my side. Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much, Santosh. Your presentation reminds us that it's not just cooperative benefits to the members themselves, to the cooperatives that are members of cooperatives, but also to the communities and local development at large. So thank you very much for these points of reflection. And we'll move very quickly to Young-Sik Yoon, Team Head of International Cooperation and Agricultural Advisor at NACF South Korea. Over to you. We can't hear you if you're speaking.
Hello.
There you are. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, I'm Jung-Sik Jeong from National Agricultural Cooperative Federation, also known as NHF. It's a great honor to speak at this ICETT webinar. Since my time is quite limited, just 5 minutes, so I will move straight into the main points. Today, I'd like to share how Korea's agricultural cooperatives support their members, contribute to rural communities, and play significant roles in national. Before diving into the presentation, let me briefly introduce NHF so that you can better understand our work. NHF represents about 2.1 million farmers in Korea. through 1,100 member cooperatives. We operate 2 holding companies and 31 subsidiaries, which cover agribusiness, finance, distribution. Through cooperative power, we extend benefit beyond our members to communities and society. One of direct benefit to members of agri-cooperative is reducing production cost and increasing the income of their members. To reduce cost, we leverage collective purchasing to lower prices of farming supplies. Cooperative loan program interest rate that are significantly lower than those of private lenders. In addition, training and education programs are provided to enhance members' skill and welfare. To increase the receiving price of agricultural products, agri-cooperatives implement several strategic measures. Agri-coops help increase farmers' income by organizing production and scaling up operations. We refine distribution, build collective branding, and invest in food processing to raise farmers' income. In addition, cooperative provide tuition support, subsidize the health checkups, and financial help during weddings, funerals, and disasters. Members also benefit from domestic and overseas training opportunities. According to the Korea University study in 2024, Korea's agricultural cooperative provide around 0.7 billion euro per year in direct benefits, which is about 2,200 per member. These cover sales, dividends, credit, education, and direct benefit explain about 65% farmers' agricultural income. Now, let us look at the benefits provided to members' communities through agricultural cooperative. Agri-coops contribute significantly not only to individual farmers, but also rural communities by providing essential
And your audio is a little bit coming and going.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, thanks to the NH, residents in rural areas have access to basic financial services. In addition to banking, agricultural cooperatives various facilities such as retail stores, wedding halls, funeral homes, and gas station. These services make life in rural areas more stable, convenient, and connected. What's more, every year, employees assist farms during peak seasons. Agri-cooperatives provide disaster recovery support and run the happiness center to aid elderly farmers. We also offer mobile medical clinics, free legal aid in partnership with public institutions, and dormitory housing in cities for farmers. These programs ensure a better quality of life in rural areas. Let's look at the benefit to the society at large. Urban consumers benefit directly by gaining access to safe, high-quality agricultural products at affordable prices. Through joint business projects and mutual growth funds, cooperatives build partnerships between cities and rural areas, helping close economic and social gaps. These efforts contribute to social cohesion, food security, and a more inclusive economy. As you can see, the 2024 Korea University study shown the economic contributions of agri-cooperatives. This makes agri-cooperatives an important role in the national economy. To promote the value of cooperatives, ICETT regularly commissions research on agri-cooperatives' economic contribution through an external institution. In conclusion, Korea's cooperatives show how cooperative model can deliver direct benefit to members and double value to communities and society. Yeah, thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Jinsik. The audio a little bit came and went, but we are going to share these slides for everybody. So I see that being asked quite a lot in the chat, and we will share the slides. The report you can find at the link that's been posted in the chat, and maybe Joseph, you could please put it again. So thank you so much for that presentation. Moving again very, very quickly, because I'm going to ask our next three speakers to try to really stay within the time. We have Merav Niv from the Kibbutz movement in Israel. She is the head of cooperative development, and I welcome you to the floor now, Merav.
Thank you, Ilana. Thank you, Chair. I'll try to be as brief as possible in describing what we do and how we do it. I'm not really sure that the presentation really works like it should, but
we saw it a moment ago. Now it's gone. Now, yes.
Now you see it. Yeah, it's it sort of doesn't really want to work. Anyway, I'll try to be, as said, as brief as possible. But when you look at the kibbutz movement, the apex organization of 259 kibbutzim, you can see that basically our mere existence depends on the existence of the kibbutzim. We are there to serve in order to enable and amplify what kibbutzim do, can do, and will do. It can include whether it is providing tools, unifying the voice, advocating for our interests, whether it is funds, training, innovation centers. If you look at the slide, you can see that in each way, each thing that we do sort of reflects in what the kibbutz does, and vice versa. When we talk about indirect members, it benefits to members. The whole idea, as said before by all those presented before me, the point of being a cooperative is being able to create an impact that is more than the mere economic added value. Is an impact that benefits your members and their members. And usually the best way to do it is by enhancing existing qualities, by opening new possibilities. And that is basically what we're trying to do, to adapt and focus on training and capacity building, on professional empowerment, on assistance where scalability matters. But it's not only what we do towards our members. The fact that the kibbutz, or each kibbutz, operates within a community, the community not only of its members, but also of their families, of neighboring cities, towns, villages. We do believe and perceive ourselves as sustainable and multi-generational member-oriented community and business organization. And this perception sort of forces us to look not only at our direct members, but also to their community, to the family, to the wide area that we operate within. And again, the way we act, the way we operate is aiming to have an impact, not only social, but also economic on our neighborhood. And if we look for a minute from the kibbutz movement perspective, then we wish and aim and works to strengthen and empower society. And we do that through various outreach programs and cultural products, both within and outside kibbutzim. We do that also in the economic part, in the economic world, but also, and most importantly, in the social arena. We do that sorry about that. Our national reach is by allowing ourselves to be a home for people, whether it is youth at risk, whether it is people with disabilities, whether it is new immigrants or refugees. And we also aim at innovation economic, industrial, and also social. When we do that by enabling our members to operate and do it themselves, we empower our members. And they, at their turn, empower their own members. This way, this circle of empowerment enables us, perhaps, to create a better society. Ilana, I really hope that I've been okay with time, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Merav. You were super fast, especially considering you have quite a different model to share with everyone. And just as a reminder, you can be in touch with all of us after this webinar with ICETT, and there's so much more to talk about. I do see some questions in the chat, and we're running short on time, so please just know that you can get in touch with all of us afterwards, and we can continue the conversation. Thank you so much, Merav. Moving now to Howard Brodsky. He is the chair of CCA Global Partners in the United States, and he also represents Principle6.coop. Howard?
Thank you very much, Ilana. I appreciate it very much. And I found all the interesting presentation before us really has such an enlightening of how powerful and how wonderful the cooperative movement is globally. I'll just give you one quick on CCA and then want to talk to you about Principle 6. CCA Global is a cooperative in North America, a purchasing cooperative that serves family businesses in North America. And our goal is really to save family businesses and have them compete in a very competitive environment. And we service about 700,000 family businesses. We provide marketing, buying, training, merchandising, and we also have 39,000 childcare centers in United States, where we service almost 2 million children every day. But today, what I really want to talk about, and Justin, is Principle 6, which is, to me, a very exciting involvement. It's a new digital platform to really service and grow the cooperative movement. You know, for so long, we know how good cooperatives are and how much more we need them to grow. And Principle 6 is the first digital platform for providing services to cooperatives globally. It's a cooperative of cooperatives. It's owned by cooperatives. And at the heart of it is collaboration. And why? Because we know that if we collaborate together, we become stronger individually, we deliver greater collective benefits, and we help the world to better understand who we are. You know, together we are stronger. And so Principle 6 is all about bringing this strength of we are stronger together into a practical way that we can all benefit from each other and grow with each other. And we know that we have collective benefits. And what is the opportunity? Well, the opportunity really is to work together in ways in cross-sector to achieve together what none of us could really hope to achieve by ourselves. And if we look at the next, the relationships, you know, Principle 6 really works across, we have apex organizations in countries, we have obviously federations and associations, and we have cooperatives and then cooperative members. Principle 6 is made to work with all the pieces in order to enhance all the pieces. And really at the heart of it, though, is collaborative communities. You know, if you look, what I always think is cooperatives are built to do good in our world. We know that. Cooperatives are the best business model there is. And by having collaborative communities, we can have dedicated space where cooperatives come together to shared interests, challenges, sectors. And these are not passive ways. These are active engines of innovation. You know, I always think that a community is a force of good, and cooperatives are a community, a very strong community. And there was a definition recently said, a community is a group of people that want to grow together. Well, you know, Principle 6 is all about growing the cooperative movement and having a digital platform to make that happen. And at the core, it's about sharing and collecting best practices, because we know one thing: together, our collective wisdom is stronger than anybody. You know, together, we have the greatest knowledge of anybody. And it's create and host discussion boards, to create and deploy surveys to members. If we had some simple surveys to members, we could benchmark with each other to learn what are the best practices which all of us are doing and who's doing what we can learn from. I always think our diversity of membership is a strength of ours. And what Principle 6 tries to do is take that diversity of our co-op members and bring it to a strength. And together we can contribute to a global and national movement. And I think the question is, why now? Well, I think there's a couple of things that exist with it. First of all, our common needs. We have common needs about how we onboard new members, how we onboard new board members, our annual meetings, our conventions, security, AI. We have so many common needs that collectively we can be smarter. And to be competitive and relevant in a new AI economy, we must own our own data, curate our collective knowledge, and develop our A1 enabled tools. AI is going to change so much of our world, and we do not have to do it individually as co-ops. The strength of all of us together, and this is a co-op owned by co-ops. So every co-op does not have to understand the best way to use AI, the best way to strengthen our membership. Our knowledge base is so good collectively. There was a quote, and I must read it because I think it really says about co-ops. No one can be the best at everything, but when all of us combine our talents, we can and virtually be best at anything. And I think that's so true. When we combine our diversity and strength of co-ops, and Principle 6 is all about co-ops working together and doing everything together. So this is critical that we come together at this time to unify us and to magnify what we do as cooperatives. The Principle 6 platform gives operational tools that improve each of us to help all of us. And to facilitate collaboration, it increases our collective impact and amplifies our collective voice. And naturally, we are so aligned with the SDG goals of the United Nations. And as they have said, in the WIDE's International Year of the Co-op, co-ops are the only business structures that can really deliver the SDG goals. And with Principle 6, what we want to do is magnify that and have it happen as a reality. The other quote, which I'd just like to leave you with, is an African proverb which says, to go fast, go alone, but to go far, to go together. And Principle 6 is all about us together, going far together. It's an amazing digital platform that will really grow all the co-ops in the sector. Thank you, Alana.
Thank you, Howard. Thank you for that inspirational presentation, but with also some very concrete applications. So you will get the slides with the QR code again, so don't worry about that. I'm going to invite Ivan Zugasti, Managing Director at Mondragon Corporation in Spain, to present the last case for us today. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Elena. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
So I'm going to start by sharing my my document. Hope you can see it. And okay, so thank you very much for the invitation, and it's great to be back in ICETT meeting again, representing Mondragon and telling you about a very concrete experience or project we are offering as a benefit for our members, but also as a benefit for the whole social economy in the world. And it's about the ICETT new think tank, the Arizmendi Arrieta Social Economy think tank that Mondragon was promoting together with other main stakeholders and institutions locally and globally. We consider ICETT to be a real asset for social transformation. And we find that we need to go a little bit further in how social economy is influencing in policy making, in decision making, and how we can do and improve our position and lobbying, especially for institutions and policy making. It's a social economy hub also in Spain to the world with the support of the Ministry of Employment of the Spanish government and the funding from the European Union with the co-leadership of the Confederation of the Social Economy in Spain, CEPES, and also the support of the local institutions, the Basque government, the province government in Guipúzcoa, the city council in San Sebastian, and the cooperative council in the Basque region. Its ICETT is built to promote the creation of social economy enterprises. So not only to think about the future of social economy, but also to become a promoter of social economy enterprises, because a society with more social economy enterprises will be a better society. It's very much inspired in the founder of the Mondragon movement, Arizmendiarrieta, who, as many of you might know, was a visionary of the social economy. His ideas have influenced the world by combining economic democracy and social justice into a successful business model. And that is why ICETT is much more than a think tank. It wants to be also a do tank. ICETT is organized in three fundamental pillars: a think tank, a foresight institute, and a social lab to become a do tank. A think tank to study the role of the companies reducing the inequality and social and labor inclusion of people with diverse abilities. A foresight institute to understand megatrends and weak signals on the future of business and society, to design future scenarios about the role of business organizations, to identify key factors for anticipatory collective intelligence, and a social lab to promote new businesses from collective entrepreneurship, to generate more business, to make them bigger, and to adapt success stories to other territories. So it's also a network of networks, as it wants to develop three networks and interconnect them. First of all, a knowledge network to connect universities and research centers from different countries around the world, to prototype success stories, to formulate the success recipe, and to adapt business ideas to other territories. Second, enterprises network. Social economy enterprises hide a great wealth and many lessons learned. We want to collect them and analyze the keys to their success and the reasons for their failures in order to learn from their mistakes, scale the successful experiences, and try to adapt them to different territories. We have seen the very best cases today in this meeting. In three, institutions network. We know that there are many public administrations working for the welfare of their communities. We want to offer them a catalog of social economy solutions that can be adapted to their legislation, financing systems, and education. So the only good idea or word is the one that turns into action. This was the learning we had from Father Arizmendiarrieta. What makes this project unique is the vocation of entrepreneurship and work. We want to reflect and generate ideas, but we want also to put them into practice. We know it won't be easy. We know we will make mistakes, but we still want to try because the world needs more social economy to move forward. We therefore propose that you join us on this journey in this conviction that all contributions will be successful and useful. We have much to learn and much more to do. And last but not least, this is the picture of the members of the International Advisory Board in ICETT that were gathering together for the first time during the ICETT Forum a few weeks ago in San Sebastian. We had a very successful forum with around 400 participants coming from all over the world and representing different institutions, international institutions that are connected to social economy. So thank you very much for your attention, and I look forward to listening to your questions.
Thank you so much, Yvonne. Thank you. I think this really highlights, today's presentations really show us the importance that everybody is feeling now about the need to work together and bring all of our collective knowledge together and move the movement forward. I would like to turn it over to Thomas to give us some concluding remarks about what this all means for ICETT, for us, and how we're going to take this discussion further. We don't have a lot of time. If you have a little bit of patience, we can address maybe one or two of the questions, but we are going over the time. So Thomas is gonna let you know how we're gonna address your questions in the future. Thomas?
Exactly. Thank you very much, Ilana. First of all, thank you for your moderation of this panel, this exciting panel of people who were speaking here today. Thank you very much to you and to Eurixia, of course, not only for the moderation, but also in the conception of the report that we were presenting here today. As you mentioned, we have several questions in the chat, and since we were about to close right now, I suggest that we take note of your questions and we try to respond them during the next couple of days. So Joseph and I will be working on these questions, trying to bring you in contact with the right people to whom the questions are addressed, or if they're more in general, then we try to find the response, reply ourselves, or we will try to engage with you if you want to work together with us on the matters that we're trying to work on the next couple of months. And that is what I was planning to do to conclude this session, in fact. So apart from sending my thanks again to Mr. Hans Groeneveld, who was president of the ICETT group the last couple of years, and also to ICA for facilitating all the work that ICETT does. I do hope that we as a group will be able to continue the work that Hans and the former members launched the last couple of years. And so in that sense, I think it's important to shed a little light on the future perspectives of the ICETT group. As you know, the general objective that we have is that we want to continue to show the member benefits and the larger impact on society that cooperatives have and create on a daily basis, let's say. And as we heard during these testimonials, it is important to show this to our current and our future members, but also to the public authorities and other economic actors or other actors in general. Since co-ops have, in some parts of the world, they are still too unknown, let's say, and have unbenefited potential. And so we want to stress the role of cooperatives in this social economic transition. We're in the beginning of that, and so it's of great importance to put ourselves on the societal and political agenda, of course. And so concretely, the rest of the International Year of Co-ops and during the World Social Summit that will be held in November in Doha. This will be a very important milestone because specifically in November 2025 and in the context of this summit, we will present a very special edition of the World Cooperative Monitor, which will not only show let's say the importance of cooperatives with facts and figures, but also it will contain lively and concrete stories told by people who are on a day-to-day basis involved in the cooperatives all over the world. And so today marks not only the presentation of the report that we have seen here on the member benefits, but it is also a call to each and every one of you to stay engaged, to stay in touch, and to think together with the ICA and with ICETT on how we can continue to identify the elements of cooperatives that are of common interest and then that need further promotion, let's say. And so this concrete question that lies ahead of us is how that we can expand this report that we have presented today to different areas, different topics. What other topics do we need to report? I have seen in the questions that people talked about how we can keep communicating on the member and the users relations within our cooperatives, or how we can keep our members satisfied and so on. So keep feeding us, let's say, with these topics that we can use and that we can put up front to promote and show the power of our cooperative model. So if and I know that if you don't come up with questions, then we will find you and we will come after you to find the right questions, let's say. First trigger in the next steps will be the next ICETT meeting, which will be one of our in-person meetings of this year. It will be held in Manchester on the 3rd of July. which is the day just after the General Assembly, of the ICA, and just before the Co-op Congress, which is a cooperative festival held in Manchester also on the 4th and the 5th of July. And so I promise you that indeed the questions that we got via the chat and that you will send us via mail, that we will try to treat them in the delay as short as possible, let's say. And I'll leave the final word to my dear colleague and friend Joseph, as a policy director of ICA, to conclude this session. And I thank you again on behalf of all members of ICETT to attend this webinar.
Thank you so much, Thomas, and thank you, Ilana, for good moderation. Thank you to all the speakers and to all participants for joining us. We are very much appreciative also for the engagement on the chat. And yes, we'll be able to share with you the presentations that were shared here and also the summary of these discussions. We have also put the links for the report. If in case you have not yet read it, you can find it on our website. And if you have any questions, any more, or you need more information, feel free to reach us through the channels that we have shared. And I just wanted to see, because Mr. Sunil Silva, you had raised your hand, just to give you one last word before we conclude. So if you take less than 1 minute, Mr. Sunil. You're muted. You're muted, Mr. Sunil.
We don't hear you,
Okay.
Mr. Sunil, we don't hear you.
Now, I think my idea is to elaborate with this very valuable presentation we have received. Thank you very much for all the speeches, and we learned a lot. And I think some of the idea have add to the system of democratic control, solidarity. We practice in cooperatives in grassroots level, school cooperatives everywhere, solidarity cooperative economic systems. Then the people like poor people working together or more impressively to achieve their targets and their good wealth in solidarity cooperative democratic system. That's why I want to mention the speakers and the organizations. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your comment. And yeah, with that, I think we conclude the webinar, and I will be reaching out to you with more information. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you to all of our speakers today.
So much. Thank you.
Thank you for attending.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks,